Today, we are doing something a little different from my usual content, and I am super excited about this one. So if you're in the education space online, you've probably seen her content. Lauren Cella is a middle school history teacher and a content creator with over 200,000 followers on Instagram, and she makes history come alive in a way that is genuinely unlike anything else out there. She blends Gen Z humor, pop culture, and real teaching in a way that actually works with kids and adults online. And as a behavior specialist, as I've been watching her content, I keep thinking the exact same thing. She really gets it. She knows how to reach these kids. And what she does in her classroom, the way she builds community, uses humor, and meets kids where they are, that is behavior work. She just does it naturally without all the clinical language. So because I've been so impressed with what she did, I reached out to her and asked if she would sit down and just have like a real conversation with me. And she said she would. So before we go into that interview, I want to make sure that you do follow her on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. She's all under the name Lauren Cella. So go follow her and then come right back because this is a good conversation that you're not going to want to miss. Welcome back. I'm Rachel from the Behavior Check-In. I'm a K-12 behavior specialist and special education teacher. And today I am joined by Lauren Cella.
Hi.
So we're doing something special. I wanted to talk about how we work with students and build relationships in the classroom. So one of the big things that we are always hearing about with this generation of kids is that they can't focus, they can't learn. I'm not buying that. It's not what I'm seeing. What about you?
Yeah, I think that the kids today absolutely can focus and they really do want to learn, but I think it's just they require a different amount of buy-in. I think for them to be ready to focus and ready to learn, first of all, they have to feel like you respect them, like you care about them as a person, that you care about their time, that you don't think of them as like an inferior subject that doesn't know anything and isn't coming in with their own perspectives. So I think that's the difference. It's not necessarily like I'm automatically going to pay attention. I'm automatically going to have respect for all authority figures, but they're more critical thinkers. So I think we have to match the students that are coming into our classroom.
I agree with you. And I think that's the biggest piece that gets missed. I think sometimes we get so focused on all the things that we have to teach content-wise that we sometimes put that relationship piece on the back burner. And I hate to say it, but I feel like the build a relationship has unfortunately become this buzzword that came with negative connotations. And I really want to debunk that. I agree it's not the end all be all when things are deeper below the surface, but I think it is definitely one of those tier one interventions we need to be doing. So how do you build relationships with your students? Because I'm a special education teacher. I often work with like smaller groups of kids over extended periods of time with different bands. You have new students coming in every year, every class period, 30 kids. How do you do this?
I think I try to be authentically myself because they can tell when you're faking it. So if you are not an authoritative personality and you try and put that on, it's not going to work out. If you're not funny and bubbly, like you don't have to act like that. Like, I don't know. I think people think, oh, well, like I have to be like the young teacher or the cool teacher. That is so not true. Like if you look at like you ask people who their favorite teachers are, it is all across like different demographics, right? So you have to authentically be yourself. I think they see that. And you have to also be like authentic and and passionate.
Yeah.
So I think they can just tell when you don't really want to be there, and we have days where we don't really want to be there.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But most of the time, like in general, they can tell like when you're passionate. And again, they remember how you make them feel. So for a subject like history, if they don't know something, like if you like laugh or make a joke or tease them, like even if it's kind of lighthearted, like they shut down because it's just different. They especially if you don't know them very well.
They're
right?
sensitive.
And I don't even think they're sensitive. I just think if they've grown up in this era of like mass surveillance.
Yeah.
And if you make a mistake, it's going to get clipped. Ooh. It's going to be shared around. Right? So it's just really different. So it's harder for them to speak up, to make a mistake in public, because they've seen like, what happens when you make a mistake in public. So a lot of them come in as teenagers, mostly teenagers, with like that anxiety. And it's very real. And once you've been in the classroom for a few months, you kind of know who your jokesters are.
Yeah, for sure.
Fine. But just, I would be very, very careful. Like if they answer a question, they don't know a question or they get it right or partially right, like very careful in how you're redirecting it. Like always positive, bringing humor back, if another kid says something, be like, oh, wait, well, actually, like give them a way out.
Oh, I love that.
Always give them a way out. Like, you're on their side, like, you're empowering them. I want them to leave the class feeling like they learned something and they know so much and they can go out on their own and learn more.
I love that.
Because I can't teach them everything, like you said, all the time. So I want them to have the feeling and the skills and the knowledge of like, hey, I know now that I can go out and learn this on my own. I have these skills now and like have that confidence.
I love that, because you're teaching more than just the content. You're teaching how to just exist as a person in 2026 and how to, you're really teaching that emotional regulation through real example. I think a lot of teachers feel like they hear these big words like co-regulation, social emotional learning, and they don't feel like they can do that. But I feel like a lot of teachers are doing this naturally, even though it doesn't look like it's structured within some sort of program. They're just doing that with building that safety. And it sounds like you really build safety with your students.
Thank you. Yeah, I hope so. Yeah, I agree with like the co-regulation. I know that's like a big word, but like all that really means is like they match your energy.
Exactly.
And so even when they do say something that is like totally not appropriate, like what I've learned over all these years is like 90% of the time, like you don't have to deal with it right in that moment.
Exactly.
Okay, as long as like no one else is like being like immediately hurt or like it's not like insulting anyone, right? Like you don't have to, you can figure out a way to like put a pin in that and like circle back after class, the next day, a week later. Like it doesn't have to always be in that moment. And usually that kid will probably say sorry anyway, because it was just a silly thing that they said, because their brains are developing. Exactly.
And if you'd addressed it right then and there and embarrassed them, it would have just escalated the situation.
I think sometimes, like, and if there's any truth in what they're saying, it's maybe like use some humor.
Yeah.
You'd be like, this is boring. Like, it is. It is kind of boring. But that's okay, because we're giving our brains time to, build, and we're like working a muscle. We're not playing the big game every time. Sometimes we're doing just drills. And they're boring. Yep. But like that's what makes you better. Like exactly. So it's okay. You're right. It is kind of boring. Like, yeah, I know. That's okay. I'm sorry. Like I think if you can, if you like lecture them in that moment, like that's not gonna work.
I agree.
But if they're like, oh, if they're saying something like, oh, like this is boring, or like, oh, why do we have to do this? Like answer them or try and use some humor or validate them. Be like, yeah, I know, but that's okay. We can still just finish the day.
Sometimes we got to do hard things, right? Like we got to go show up to work when we're not feeling like showing up to work. So I love that you were talking about the boring piece, because I think that's another thing is everybody always talks about, well, they're so addicted to their phones, we can't keep them engaged, but you do a good job of keeping your students engaged. How do you do that?
I think how I try to keep my students engaged is, well, first of all, I teach history, so I'm really passionate about the content. So I think they crave real connection. So I think when they see somebody, whether it's a peer or an adult or anybody that is like so excited about something, it kind of makes you naturally want to be a little bit excited about it, or at least like curious about it. So sometimes I'll do things like I'll go on a lecture, or I'll dress up, or I'll like, maybe try and use their slang a little bit, like if I can, or show them like a picture or a video. Like from like clips of really good documentaries, just something to kind of get their attention, and then I just kind of go in and they're like almost like, wow, like it's so interesting to see someone like, no, because some of them are like, did you just look that up? Like, are you AI? And I'm like, no, you guys, like I just know more than you because I'm older, but like you guys know all of this stuff too. And you know, opening it up, making those connections, just making them feel like they are a part of it. I think. And also a lot of kids, they shut down when they feel like they're not getting help.
I agree.
So I try to build in as much like scaffolding and help as possible. So if I do a lecture, I'd love to talk for an hour, but I probably don't want to go over 25 minutes with teenagers. That's kind of pushing it. You know, and then when we're doing our group time, like I'm wandering the room. Like I'm helping, I'm anticipating, I'm reading my documentation, I'm knowing like what kids are, I'm anticipating like I know that this kid's gonna need help with this, I'm gonna pair him with this kid. Like I already know that because if I just put a worksheet in front of them and like go sit down, they are not gonna focus.
No, they're not.
It's also like because you didn't help them.
Exactly.
Like, what do you expect them to do? Like they're not gonna just. Most kids aren't going to have the regulation to be like, oh, I'm sorry, I don't... some kids. Yeah. A lot of kids are not going to be like, you know what? I don't think that I have enough reading knowledge to understand this context. I'm not going to say that.
Because that's embarrassing.
Right. Yeah. Like they just, oh, this is boring. I don't want to do it. Like, you know, but like if you sit with them or you put them in a group where it can be kind of fun, or, you know, if writing is a struggling, if they find another way for them to participate where like they can actually do it, and then you are proud of the work that they did. And like the next time they're like, oh, okay, I can do it. It's boring, but I can do it.
Yes.
And then the next time, like, oh, it's not as boring because I get it. Like, or maybe it is boring, but like it's easy. And like that's kind of where the barrier like over. And then like, wait, now it's so easy. Now it's almost kind of fun.
You're building that momentum.
Yes. And it takes a long time. So I think just not putting them in a spot where they're just going to be kind of out there, embarrassed, not being able to write anything on their paper. I think that's where most of the behavior issues and most of the like cannot focusing, because there's so finding ways to make sure that they can complete the work.
I would agree. I'd say in a lot of my observations is the big thing I notice is just kids looking at the work and not knowing what to do, and then defaulting to the things that help them regulate, like getting on their Chromebook or talking to a friend instead of having to do the thing in front of them that's really difficult. Yeah. So I love that you're doing that. You're building that in. And I think a lot of things that you're doing is just proactive strategies that are preventing big behaviors in your classroom. Yeah. So what would your advice be for brand new gen ed teachers that are going to start teaching middle school?
You know, I would say to not rely like too much on the Chromebook or the technology or the curriculum, because like the Chromebook can kind of be a distraction. So if that's like all you have, if you have like the slides and this and like they're supposed to just like do it at their own pace, I don't think that's going to be a super fun classroom. And I don't think that's going to be a really enjoyable environment for a lot of the kids. So I would try to like vary like what you're doing, but also make a routine, stick to a routine, love the kids, be yourself. Like, please don't come in thinking like, oh, these kids are worse, like this generation. Like they actually like hate that. Yeah. Okay. Like, fair. And then like, it's kind of true. Like, okay. Like, and all the things that are kind of true are like not really their fault. So, you know, just come in and be yourself and be there for them and do everything you can to help them succeed. Because you know what? Like, honestly, like they're probably going to end up going to the next grade, right? You only have them for a little bit. So just like do what you can to help them succeed and help them build their confidence, because they're so young and like they're so young. They're not gonna, some kids will, but a lot of kids are not gonna probably fully get everything. But you know, by the end of like the year, by the end of 8th grade, a lot of them really do. Like they are so capable and they can think so fast, and they like, cause their brains move a lot faster. So yeah, don't underestimate them, cause they love to learn and they see what's going on in the world and they want to understand it. That actually, I'll tell them that, like, why do you, I'm like, you know why I like history? Because it makes me feel less anxious, because I can see patterns and I can understand things and I can make certain decisions. It's not fun to like not know what's going on. No. It's not fun to like not understand why anything is the way it is. Like and if you look it up, like you're gonna get all sorts of crazy answers. So like I just I think even telling them that, like explaining why social science is so important to understand, because if you're just scrolling on your phone, I think COVID proved that. Like, you can't just learn everything from scrolling on your phone. You have to have media literacy and background knowledge first. So hopefully I can get to them, before that. And it's the best job in the world. And these kids are awesome. They're so much fun. I've never had a classroom I didn't enjoy. I've never really had a full class a year that I didn't really enjoy the kids. They're the best part of the job. So yeah, they can tell when you're excited to be there and when you love them. And that's usually the energy that they'll give back.
So just on a different note, have you ever had a really challenging behavior in the classroom, and how have you handled it?
Yes. Obviously, just some classes are harder than others. Some students have more issues than others. The first thing is to not take it personally, because I know it's really hard, but 99% of the time it is not personal. There's some sort of trigger that happened. That could have happened at lunch. It could have happened at home. It probably has nothing to do with you. So I would just try to not take it personally. You're an adult. They're a child at the end of the day. Yes, I would say most of the time just try not to take it personally. And I would say when we have these big behaviors, like I said, the way I try to handle it is give them a way out. Just give them a way out. Okay? Yep. So what's the problem? The problem is that you're frustrated. Okay? The problem is this your neighbor is frustrating you. What is the immediate problem? Okay? So the immediate problem is I'm feeling overwhelmed. Okay, that's fine. Do you want to go work outside?
Yeah.
Literally, give them an out. Okay? Or if they're just feeling this is really hard, I can't do this. You're actually right. This is the most challenging text that we do all year. It is really hard to understand. Giving them an out, intellectually.
Yes.
It is yes, you're correct. Oh well, you're supposed to know that. That's at the 8th grade reading level. It is hard. You're right. You are absolutely right. It is hard. Which words are hard? Or is this word the hard word? I think most kids don't know what this word means.
Yeah.
Again, not singling them out, making,
you're validating.
Yes. So just always, and when it is, really this, it's hey, okay, what do you want to do? Do you want me to call your mom, or do you want to stop? Because I can just pretend I didn't hear that, and we can just stop. Can we just stop?
Give them that reset.
I'm can we just redo? And you can kind of, even if you know the kid, you can be hey, do you want to try again? Maybe say no, thank you. Okay. I really don't want to call your mom. She's at work. Can we just not, or whatever.
You gotta let them do the reset button on a choice. Let's try it again.
Yeah, just give a choice and let them try again, and then and if they say sorry and they try again and it wasn't egregious, then let it go. I'm literally I'm not trying to get you in trouble. I don't want to involve admin. I don't really want to just tell your parents, hey, they said something. Okay, I want to involve your parents if it's I'm noticing that they're struggling with this, and I want I want to be a partner with your parent. I don't want to just tell on you to your parent.
Yes.
My goal is not to tell your parent he did this, he didn't do his work. But if I'm noticing a pattern, I think that's the difference.
Exactly.
And they kind of understand that. Be hey, I have to actually tell your parents because your grade has slipped from a C, from an A to a C, and I'm worried you're going to have a D. So I have to tell them so they know that we're trying to get we're trying to work on getting your, because you told me you want to have a B.
Yes.
So I'm letting them know the plan.
I love that.
Not just I'm telling them that you're So and by that point they're kind of okay, yeah. So again, just giving them outs. And where the out is usually can we just try again? Or can you just go outside and come back for 5 minutes? You want to take a walk? If they're even younger, they might not even realize that they're being dysregulated.
Yes.
So you can be can you go give this piece of paper to Miss So-and-so next door? Or do you want to come sit by me? Do you want to be my helper?
I love it.
There's so just a redirection. Sometimes I'll notice a kid that's really struggling and they're not a behavior, like it's not a behavior, but I just noticed that they're really struggling like internally and they need a break. And I'll just be like, do you want to come like organize my pencils for me? You know?
Yeah.
And just gives them a little reset. And then like as they're doing that, I'm talking like, hey, like, oh, did you like figure out what to do with that while they're organizing the pencils? And I'll be like, oh, like, oh, did you like try and then they'll, like when they go back, they try it. If that makes sense.
No, I love it.
I'm trying to like, go around and again like don't be like, who needs help? Like, that doesn't work. No. It might. Some kids are very good about advocating. I love that. But, like, I make it clear that I'm helping everybody. So the kid that has an A, I'm going to sit with him, and I'm going to be like, this, you know, this could be better, because it could.
Yeah.
And the kid that has a C, I'm going to also be like, this could be better, because it could. So it's not like I'm only ever helping. Like, the environment is just like, I'm going to sit at your desk, and I'm going to help everybody.
And that's good because kids notice that. And if you're not, I mean, I think a lot of teachers have good intentions and they'll see that they have the student with the IEP or the behavior plan and then they'll like over support them. And that just puts a big like neon sign to that kid, which takes away the safety feeling in class. Even though the teacher's well-intentioned, it just doesn't, I think when you're just making it look like, you know, everybody's here to learn, this is a group thing, we're not singling out someone because of whatever paperwork they have.
And every kid's different. Like some kids will be like, oh, my IEP says I have to, like, I'm like, you're right. You know, like some kids are very like, I would like to go like talk to the counselor and I need, like, they totally understand and have that language of self-advocating. It's great. But yeah, most kids don't.
I was that kid. I didn't want anybody to know that I had an IEP, and a lot of kids didn't know because it was like one of those things where it's like I was really, really good in like history and ELA, but math was like,
oh yeah, totally, exactly. So I think just treating kids as an individual, making it an environment where everyone is constantly learning and giving them a way out.
I love that. Well, it really does sound like you're doing the behavior work. And I think a lot of gen ed teachers don't realize how much they do and how much they're capable of doing and how amazing they're doing. I think, especially, you know, working as a behavior specialist, people think that I'm going to come in and do something miraculous and wave a magic wand. But at the end, a lot of the things that you're doing are the things that I'm recommending that we do. So I think that that is what really helps kids. Kids really do remember how you make them feel. And when they feel safe in your classroom, that is the best classroom management strategy. So
agreed.
Thank you so much for sitting down with me. I really loved hearing what you had to say. I think it'll be really valuable to gen ed teachers and new teachers entering the classroom this year. Just knowing what to say, because I think a lot of this stuff, we just don't always get taught it in our teacher prep programs. We get taught a lot of theory from people who haven't been in the classroom in a long time. So it's nice to hear people who are doing the real work every single day. So thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. And that's a wrap. Honestly, this was one of my most favorite conversations that I've ever had on this channel. Lauren is the real deal. I'm so impressed with everything that she does, and it really shines in her teaching. And I think that she proved that gen ed teachers are doing the behavior work every single day, whether they realize it or not. So please go show Lauren some love. She's at Lauren Cella on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. All her links are in the description below. And both Lauren and I will be checking the comments on this one. So drop your thoughts, your questions, or just come say hi. We really want to hear from you. If you love this and want more on supporting students and classroom management, I have a whole playlist waiting for you. The link is in the description. Like this video, share it with a teacher who needs it, and subscribe so you do not miss what's coming next. Thank you for coming to my channel, and I will catch you in the next one.